I'm so excited today to have Luke Eggebraaten on the podcast. Luke is a serial dirt entrepreneur. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Who currently resides in Gilbert, Arizona. Luke's the founder of Phaser Marketing, which focuses on digital marketing programs for construction companies. They specialize in working with 6, 7, and 8-figure construction companies that need help taking their online presence up a notch. Luke's also the co-host of the Dirt Bags podcast and is a partner in the drag racing company Turf Wars Racing. He's also the author of the book, The Digital Dirt World, which can be found on Amazon. Luke, I'm so glad you're here, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Dr. Attaway, I appreciate it so much. I know you and I have had many conversations, and I'm just so honored to be on the show today and see what we dive into here.
This is going to be a great conversation. I've been looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. Me too.
Welcome to Catalytic Leadership, the podcast designed to help leaders intentionally grow and thrive. Here is your host, author, and leadership and executive coach, Dr. William Attaway.
Luke, I would love to start with you sharing a little bit of your story with our listeners, particularly around your journey and your development as a leader. How did you get started?
Yeah, gosh, I love that. So I graduated college in 2018. So as we sit 2025 in April here, I'm 29, I'm turning 30 in May, and graduated college in 2018. I was always a little bit entrepreneurial, and I got my start in Craigslist flipping. So I would buy pit bikes, dirt bikes, vending machines, and arcade games, things like that, things a college guy would have in his house. And then I would sell it for more a profit. And then so I knew once I started to figure out like, oh, you can actually go make your own money in this world, that kind of piqued my interest into entrepreneurship. So I graduated and then got a full-time job as a marketing director at an orthodontic practice in Omaha, Nebraska. That was Braces Omaha. Absolutely loved my job there. Loved everything about it. And really what started this marketing agency journey was I actually got to oversee and manage. So I was the point of contact for our marketing agency that was based out of California. They did orthodontic marketing specifically. And I just remember thinking, how cool is it? These people I've never met in person, we pay them so much money every single month, but they're returning it back to us in the form of, SEO leads, things like that. They make me look like a superstar because I'm just the point of contact, relaying all the information to Dr. Stevens. And they just were so personable and so fun. And it felt like they're truly a part of our team. And that was in 2019 where I said, I think I could do this myself. And I think what a fun journey that could be. And so this is important as well. I started the business officially October 24th, 2019. And that's where Phaser Marketing was born. And my commitment to myself was, okay, I'm not going to pay myself a penny out of this business until I'm able to go full time. Because, as you know, Dr. Attaway, it's when you're sucking the profits out of the business and you're putting it towards your electric bill and groceries and things like that, it's hard to grow. So I kept my full-time job, kept the business going, started to learn and grow, started to bring on a team, started to bring on clients. And then August 4th, 2021 is when I took not the leap, but the step towards going full time in my own business. And then today, as we fast forward, I'm excited to dive into this with you as well, but there's been different chapters of my leadership journey. I would say the last 14 months has been one of my favorites. Our agency right now does about $119K monthly recurring revenue, and we have about 74 clients that are all in the excavation space. And our team now is currently made up of about 13 full-time employees, half in the United States and about half in Colombia and Serbia. So my role has changed in an amazing way where I get to work I get to focus most of my time on building careers in our company. And I didn't know I would enjoy it this much. So it's been truly an honor. We have an amazing team, and I'm just excited for what this leadership journey has in the next 12 months as well.
Wow. What a story. You ran across this, but I'm just curious. You started in 2019 and you jumped in full-time in 2021. In the middle of that was something that was fairly significant going on around the world. How did the COVID pandemic impact you as a pretty new entrepreneur building a business when all of a sudden everything around you is in flux and chaos?
Yeah, I think interestingly enough, so at March 2020, we had 2 clients, right? We had one real estate agency and then our first demolition and excavation company, and kind of unaffected, right? The real estate market at that time was booming, so they didn't have any issues. And then demolition and excavation, they had to keep going. And then our third client, which was in May of 2020, they were in the oil fields and they had to keep their equipment moving. So we didn't see a negative effect, but we also didn't see like a big positive boom or anything like that. Also, what I will say is I still had my full-time job, still had my full-time salary, and the business at that time was a hobby that I'm hoping one day I could build up into being a business. So it's an interesting exercise to think about it right now, where if that happened today, what would that look like? And I think it would be a lot more difficult. However, a lot of our clients are pumping septic tanks, which those are filling up, as you can imagine, as everyone is staying home. Sure. But then on the flip side, a lot of our clients are doing like outdoor living transformations and swimming pools, things like that. So I could see that being grossly affected. But it didn't have much of an effect on us. It didn't have much of an effect on myself as an individual. And we're just about to get married, my wife and I. So that affected our wedding, but we just had a beautiful, intimate wedding in September, and then had a big party 1 year later. So
Nice.
God had a plan for us, and it worked out really well. And I'm definitely grateful for how it's panned out.
I love that. So often leading through a season of uncertainty can be challenging. And that's what that season was for so many business owners. But coming out of that and then leading in a season of growth is a whole lot more fun. You have been on a growth curve for a minute, and you talked about where you are now. As you have seen different seasons in the business over the last 4 years, since you really kind of stepped and went all in on this, as you have seen these growth seasons, what's it been like for you to lead your team through those seasons when, once you scale to this point, things start to break? Once you scale to this point, there's a whole lot more fires because a new level, that's new problems. What's leadership look like for you as you have crested new levels?
Yeah. I read this in a book one time. Leadership starts with mindset. And I think you might know the author, but great book. Gotta throw that plug in there. Catalytic Leadership. Give it a listen. Give it a read. But what I think has changed or also improved so much in my in my leadership capabilities is my mindset. If I go in, one of the very few things I can control in my day is my attitude. And if I can spearhead the day with a positive attitude, with going out to absolutely crush the day, to bring our soldiers with us, to say like, hey, we don't know what we're going to face today, but we're going to face it with a problem solving mentality. We're going to go out and do our absolute best. We're going to put it on the line, hypothetically, of course, to just do the best we can do today. We don't know if tomorrow's going to come. We don't know what that's going to look like. But today, I know I can control my mindset and I can control my attitude. So that seemingly elevates our culture and our team to, this is the standard we want to set. And one of my favorite things that has, I think, been more prevalent in the last 8 months or so is it's not just me anymore. It is the delegate and elevate. And so now it's not just me trying to hold the standard. It's Josie and Haley on our team, on our leadership team, elevating the standard as well and holding the rest of our team. But then also what we're seeing is not everyone is having a great day every single day. But when you're around people that can really push you to be your best, it can elevate your attitude. And so I think just seeing that, letting go of the vine, I've never actually had an issue with letting go of the vine or the business, but then making sure we have the right A players, the right thoroughbreds, the right people in place that they can take it and run with it and do so much better than I ever could by myself. And for anyone listening too, I think that's a big misconception. I think we're all pretty full of ourselves and we think we are all that. And nobody else can do sales as good as I can. Nobody else can do the marketing. Nobody else can build these websites like I do. Until you bring in the people that kind of put you in your place, it's like, I need to trust the process here. And also too, with that leadership, you can lead so much better when your head is above water. You can lead so much better when you have a great workout in the morning, and you eat well, and you're traveling. You have a great relationship with your spouse. You have a great relationship with God if you are a believer, and having your priorities straight. So for me, it's very simple. It's my faith, my wife, and everything else. And business falls into everything else. But the more I focus on those priorities, the more the business seems to bear fruit.
I love that you brought that out. And I think, for those listening who are people of faith, like you and I are, this is a critical lesson that I really want to make sure they grab onto and don't run past. The prioritization of what you put in your life matters. If you're a person of faith, your relationship with your Heavenly Father, this is first. Nothing comes before that. If you're married, your spouse is next, right? Nothing comes before that except your relationship with your Heavenly Father. Everything else comes after that. If you've got kids, they're third. And then everything else. That includes your business. And I've watched so many entrepreneurs in particular play Jenga with those priorities, right? And they, my kids are the most important thing in my life. Or I'm doing this all for them, so the business has to come first. And when you do that, the ripples from those decisions go way farther than you think they're going to. And they touch people much more deeply than you think they will. As a person of faith, this is part of who you are. This is what you bring into the environments that you're in, whether it's conversations with your team, whether it's conversations at home, or even conversations with clients. You just bring all of yourself. This is one of the things I've appreciated as I've gotten to know you better. Like, you bring that whole version of Luke. Have you always been that way, or is that something that you've learned over time?
Definitely haven't always been that way. I think just the continual growth, but continual surrounding yourself with the people that can show you in that and move you in that direction. And one of those people, I definitely want to touch on this story real quick, but my wife, Olivia, she's definitely just helped me, and we've helped each other in our marriage. But actually, a couple months ago, and I've never told this story, but we had watched a sermon and we were traveling, and really the question we asked each other was, we always talk about having God as our number one priority. What do you think is above right now, God, in your priority list? And just being honest with ourselves of, what is taking precedent over God. And Olivia shared some things, and then I thought about it. I thought deep about it, and I said, Olivia has my love for her has taken that higher seat, and it just hit both of us. We're like, wow, as great as that might seem on the outside, it needs to be readjusted. And it's not that I want to love her less, it's I need to love God more. And I think there's always, always, always improvement and work to be done on my end and her end. But just to realize that, I think, was a really cool moment for both of us, where it just because it might seem like it's going well on the outside, you need to make sure that those priorities are straight. So that has been my foundation, I feel like, and I definitely haven't always been like that. But as it's becoming clear, as I see that I'm a manager of Phaser marketing, I get to steward these resources and this team, and we get to work together. I think that helps clarify my role as a leader even further to say, like, this stuff isn't mine anyway. And so let's make sure we are stewarding this to the best of our ability. And finding that gear, I mean, that's now got us into a whole nother mindset, a whole nother gear, and we're ready to rock.
I love that. So here's the $100,000 question.
Oh,
why dirt?
Oh gosh, I love that. Yeah, we probably should have addressed that right away. So it is funny when you hear the intro. It's like, what is this guy like? It's all dirt. I tell you what, this niche. And for most people listening, if you have a digital marketing agency, I can't recommend niching down enough. And I can't recommend the 7-figure agency, Josh Nelson, enough. Everything I've learned from the marketing business side has been through that group. They have been absolutely incredible. That's where I got to meet you, Dr. Attaway, and just continue this relationship. But really what has kept us going here is building off of this foundation, having this leadership mindset, but focusing as well. And with dirt, it's so funny how it happened. So, like I mentioned, in 2020, we had our, one or two clients in the demolition excavation space. And then as we kind of got closer to August 2021, when I went full time, I knew we were kind of more blue collar. I liked working with garage door companies and excavation companies. And then as I went to my first intensive in Miami for the 7-figure agency, that would have been November 2021. They said, Luke, you can be in this group, but you have to be doing at least 10K in monthly recurring revenue, which I wasn't. And you have to niche down. And I lied and said, okay, I'm doing 10K. And then at that time I had about probably 6 or 7 like construction companies. I said, all right, we'll do digital marketing for construction companies. And they said, keep going further. I'm like, okay. And then I kind of looked at our client base. I said, all right, how about this? Digital marketing for excavation companies. Doesn't get more specific than that.
That's it.
And there's 3 main criteria that helped me just, it felt so good to decide on that. My 3 criteria that helped me pick my niche and really solidify it was, 1, there's a passion for the industry. I didn't grow up in the blue collar world, but I started to have a passion for the men and women that are building this country, that are, instead of getting mad at the road construction, being grateful that our roads are being built. And also too, just nobody thinks about when they turn the faucet on, where that comes from, or how that gets fixed, or when you flush the toilet, where that goes. And so I started to sense a passion in myself of just giving these people, these wonderful people, the resources they deserve, and a team that can help them become more visible online. The second thing would definitely be the market. And so typically I would say our excavation companies are 10 to 15 years behind when it comes to the digital landscape. So we could easily come in and offer the marketing basics very, very well and crush it for them. And so I saw that as the second piece. The third piece, and you can't forget this when you're finding your niche, is they're not afraid to cut a check. They have enough resources to go around. They're used to these $250,000, $500,000 pieces of equipment. It's no offense to some other companies. I always use the bakery as an example, but if our monthly fee is $1,900 a month, and how many loaves of bread you have to sell just to break even, it's just a little more difficult. And so we wanted an industry that was not going anywhere, was prosperous, and we knew we could grow within, because we have big dreams, we have big goals, and it starts with Phaser marketing. And then from that, as you mentioned in the intro, we have our Dirtbags podcast. That's probably my favorite thing to do. Is we have almost coming up on 100 episodes out now, and it's listened to in 23 countries, and just so much fun. And then we have our Dirtbags University, which is our webinar series. And then we have, as you mentioned, the book I wrote, The Digital Dirt World. And it's just allowed us to become so much more focused on one industry. We speak at just those trade shows and conferences. It's very easy to see on our sales calls, like whether they're going to be a fit or not. And just becoming an expert in your industry, I couldn't recommend that enough if you're in this digital marketing world, because that alone can separate you miles ahead of some of the competition. And it's just been incredible. And that whole industry has given so much back to me. And so I just forever grateful for everything they've done for us.
That's so good. So look, you are having to lead Phaser today in levels that were not true 5 years ago. And that same thing is going to be true 5 years from now. Mm-hmm. Your leadership has continued to have to level up. So how do you stay on top of your game? How do you level up with the new leadership skills that your business and your team and your clients are going to need you to have in the years to come?
Yeah, what a great question. One thing that I've done, a couple things I've done. So, one, I've been reading more books, which I read this in somebody's book. I don't think it was yours, but somebody's book said, however much you're reading, read more. And however much you think is enough, read more. And I
love it.
Never been much of a reader, but last year I did 75 Hard, Andy Frisella's program, and it's 10 pages a day and for 75 days and then a bunch of other stuff. And I'm currently doing that again right now as we sit here. I'm on day 51. And that mental, I don't want to call it a challenge, but the mental, working within that program has been so good for me, but then also the reading part. Now I'm cruising through books and I'm like looking for new ones, getting these new ideas, listening to podcasts, asking good questions has really helped me push myself. And then as the saying goes, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That surrounding myself with people that I truly, truly care about, but also that aren't afraid to push me to be better. Be a better man, a better husband, better leader, better business owner. And so those are some like tactical things. A couple other things. We just started implementing EOS, the entrepreneurial operating system. This is one of those that it's like, when I go to 7-figure agency, we go to the intensive, he always says, all right, who's running EOS? 97% of the people raise their hand. I'm like, all right, next time I'm raising my hand. And it's one of those things, it's going to be good for you. It's not snake oil. It's a process. And so we're beginning that process right now. It's been so fun to just set these goals and these rocks and set our visions, and just staying on top of it that way has really helped keep me sharp and bringing new things in. Bringing new employees in that can teach me something. You never want to be the smartest person in the room. And I certainly am not on our team. And I just think that is the biggest blessing, because I learn something new every day. I learn something from our team and I learn something from our clients. And with that intentionality and just always be learning, always be authentically curious has really helped me continue to lead. But it's not stopping here. Like, I want to keep growing. I want to I don't want to coast. I don't want to plateau. And so continuing to meet with our coaches, continuing to meet with you, continuing to read more books can really help push the envelope on becoming the best leader that I can be.
And I would add that it goes back to attitude, where you started. It goes back to the teachable spirit that you choose to have. And that is a choice. And anybody listening can make the same choice you're making, which is, I want to be the most teachable person in the room, right? I want to continually be in a learning posture, because you can learn from anybody. Sometimes you might learn what not to do, but that can be incredibly valuable. That posture will take you farther. And I see that so much in you, Luke. I see that posture to want to continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to surpass where you are now in the days ahead. It's going to take you far.
Thank you.
And the same is true for our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And just growing with purpose as well. I believe you talked about it in your book. But you got to have a purpose that, and not just throwing darts at the wall, but why do we want to grow? And getting more specific in that has been very, very helpful. And
something bigger than just you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be part of something bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
If everything is about you, that's not a big enough dream yet. And that's one of the things I love about your story is that your dreams are way bigger than just you.
Yeah. It's exciting. And there's just so many people that get to come together. And I think that's this next chapter that I'm in leadership is getting to see other people take not the similar journey, but get excited about this stuff just as I do, because it has truly changed my life. And I'm starting to see that too in our team members as well, where, this can be a great, great career. You can feel fulfilled. This can be a passion. It doesn't have to be, but it absolutely can be.
So, anybody watching you from the outside, looking at your highlight reel, so to speak, right? They may be thinking, oh man, Luke's rocket ride has just been up and to the right. He's never had problems like I have. He's never struggled like I have. And we know better than that. We know that every business, every leader has challenges, has problems and struggles, things that they're trying to wrestle through. If I could snap my fingers right now and solve one problem in your business or your leadership, what would you choose for that to be?
Man, if you could snap your fingers and fix it, this is great. I would say, and me taking an honest look at our business of what would really, really help is one thing we wrestle with a lot is not delivering better results for our clients. And it's one of those mindsets where we just hate to disappoint people. We know we can crush it on the personable side. We know we can be great friends with them. We can send them the handwritten cards. We can do all of this. But what really irks us is when we can't nail down the lead flow, or we can't nail down the organic traffic, or maybe they're struggling and we don't want to see that. So, but that's part of marketing. And Tim Shermark says it really well. He's in 7FA. He says, you're not just a marketer, you're a problem solver. And that's just right. Pulling different levers. And so we're really honing in on that of, okay, well, if the website SEO and paid ads aren't working, what else can we do that might be able to help us achieve the goals that our clients are looking to achieve? And the more we focus on that, the better we do, the more involved we get with our clients, because not every client is the same and needs the same things. But if that offer still stands, snapping your fingers, I would say just results for all of our clients with everything we're trying to do, because really you want the best. You don't want anyone to be upset. It's going to happen. You're going to lose clients, and it's part of the business. But one final thing that I'll say that we just had an offboarding call yesterday, and great offboarding call. And we were talking to the client, great friends of ours, just didn't work out. And, we said we always want to offboard as well as we onboard, and making sure that we are giving them the same attention, the same care, that same warm feeling they got when they started with us. We want that same feeling as they go out the door, and we make sure they have everything they need. And so if anything, your reputation is everything, and keep that intact. It's always going to come back around, but it's part of business. There are hard days, but when you look at how blessed we are with how much we have, everyone listening, man, it makes these days not so hard. And you start to realize what we truly do have and what you can be grateful for. It's amazing what we get to do.
That's so good. Last question, and I ask everybody this one. Is there a book that has made a big difference in your journey that you would recommend? If the listeners who are listening haven't read this one, this is one you think would make a difference.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna do two. I know it's only one, but I'm just gonna sneak a second one in there.
Go for it.
So many I have, but absolutely by far, I'm sure everyone listening has read this, so I gotta lead with it. The E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Gerber.
So good.
I changed the name of my company after I read it because I was, formulating the idea. I was going to be LE Marketing for Luke Eggebraaten Marketing. I was going to be the guy. Read that book and I scrapped everything. I said, all right, we need a business name. So definitely the E-Myth Revisited. It's foundational for anyone even thinking about starting a business. The second one, it's a very popular one of my all-time favorites, Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell. I know you've talked about it on the show before, but it is just, I bought it again and I'm rereading it, and there's so many applicable pieces in there. And what I love about it is he addresses all of the comebacks that you might have of, yeah, but I like to work hard. And he's like, you can do that. If you like to work hard, you can still do that. And so he addresses all of that and just wants you to build a great life, and you can do it. And you can do it through business. You can do it through your job, through your work. So it applies to anyone. But man, what a masterclass that book is. And I love it. And we're working on some things there of just figuring out what's most important and then buying back some of that time.
Look, this has been such a fantastic conversation. I've so enjoyed hearing so much of your story, and I'm so grateful to you for sharing so freely and generously with your time and the insights that you've gained so far in your journey. I know our listeners are going to want to continue to learn from you and learn more about you and what Phaser's up to. What is the best way for them to do that?
Yes. And thank you again so much. This has been incredible. It's just been an honor to be here, and the time flew by. I would say best way to contact me. I manage all of our social media. So Luke Eggebraaten on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or Phaser Marketing, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I manage both of them. If you shoot the Phaser Instagram a DM, you're getting a message right back from me. Super easy. But also we post pretty regularly on there. We post reels, post stories. So you'll get to see a lot of what we do. If you're listening to this, please send me a message. I would love to hear that you actually listened to the episode, especially since this is at the end of the episode. It means you listened through it, but would love to hear from you. And I've learned the best from people that were transparent with me. And so any questions you guys have for me, even if it's financial, if it's specifics, if it's hiring, anything, please feel free to ask, because I will tell you anything you want to hear, because it's happened, and we're still going through it and figuring it all out together. But if I don't have the answer, I can always get it from somebody, and definitely reach out to me there, follow along on social media. And then our website, of course, is phasermarketing.com.
And we'll have all those links in the show notes.
Heck yeah. And if you want to check out the podcast, it's Dirtbags Podcast on all streaming platforms. It's a good time. And Dr. Attaway, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me on. It has been an honor.